overall awareness of mental
And so that's why I want to learn. That's the why, right? I'm here to learn, hoping that I can take in some information and share the information that I receive. I'm here to also advocate for healthy communication, and in particularly, I want sisters to really grasp the idea that since we do have this socio-economical complex where in this country, at least here in America, our voices tend to be more centralized. Given that, I think it is important for us to give pause, listen, be open minded, and prepare to have the conversation about our mental health and emotional wellness. And so I think this is a great way to open the door for healthy exchange. I'm hoping that we can come together to listen. We can learn some stuff. We can hear, of course, the facts about why we are the way we are, why we do some of the things we do. But more importantly, where do we go from here?
What's happening with it, my brother?
What's going on?
You feel what I'm saying?
Another day, beautiful day.
You know, just for introduction purposes, for the world.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Can we introduce ourselves? I'm gonna go first. My name is Marcus West. You feel me? I'm from Oakland, California. Recently moved out to Atlanta about 4 years ago. December would make 5. To pursue my dreams. You know, to evolve and to grow and things like that. Came out here and graduated from SAE, music, entertainment business, and everything like that. And I put my best foot forward into building community and tribes.
Right.
You know, I'm blessed to meet you. You feel what I'm saying, and everything like that. And yeah, can you tell the people who you are? You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit about yourself.
My name is Cedric Newton. I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi. My social media, I go by Ced. Everybody call me Ced. With that being said, is something that I go by. I moved to Atlanta about 4 years ago after traveling around and doing a lot of stuff. I came to Atlanta because I felt like it was close enough to home, but yet far enough away, enough stuff to do. Home is, for me, in Tupelo, is kind of too slow. Not a lot of opportunities that I really want to get involved with, but family is there. So, you know, I've been away from family a little bit, so this gets me a little bit closer to them and able to still see them and still maintain and, like, as you said, be able to come to a place and create and build community and just, you know, advance and pursue my dreams after, as well, 20 years of military service in the Air Force, and to get back out here and just do something that I want to do for me for life.
Most definitely. You know, something that I realized that coming to Atlanta, a lot of people come from Atlanta. I mean, come to Atlanta from other various places.
Right.
You know, all over the world. I know me personally, I came to Atlanta as well to escape, you know, home.
Right.
You know, and the pressures of home and the mental stresses of home.
Right.
When you left Mississippi, did you also leave because, like, of mental health, you feel me, situations?
I think my route for that was a little bit different because, I mean, when you saying, like, when I left Mississippi, I left Mississippi early on. You know, my dad was in the military, and my first taste of getting out of Mississippi and going to see my first culture shock was when I was 8 years old, and I went from Mississippi and I went to live in Hawaii. You know, and that was something like back in that time. You know, I was in the 3rd grade. We were studying Hawaii and social studies. And, you know, Hawaii was, you know, you only get to go to Hawaii if you win a game show or something like that back then. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting this opportunity to go and experience another culture, and it's exciting when I'm leaving there, and it's an opportunity. But then you get there, and then it's the unexpected, like the culture shock, and now I'm just a little black boy from Tupelo, Mississippi, in this Polynesian, Asian, I'm the only black kid in my class, you know, little country boy, totally different world, you know, like Hawaii don't seem that great no more, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why nobody would want to come here. I want to go back home, you know, to where I'm comfortable, at least my people, you know, are there. But I thank God for the opportunity to do that and to kind of have to learn to navigate that and just see and learn those things that I didn't even know I was learning when I came back to Mississippi, and still saw how, like, you know, the things that I knew that were kind of like not happening back then, or you know, the way that things were going. Even though I was young, I got to kind of take a break from it and then come back and see, like, yeah, I mean, that feeling was right. This doesn't make sense. There's a whole better way. There's a whole lot more stuff to see in the world, and you can do this. Oh, you've been on the airplane? I got no, none of the adults from where I've never been on an airplane, and I've already done that. So it's kind of like, to me, like, well, really, it's not that scary and it's not that hard. What are y'all so afraid of?
Right. So just the different experiences, just being exposed to Hawaii at such a young age.
Right.
And you, like you said, it was a culture shock.
Right.
You know, leaving, you know, Mississippi and being the only black person in your classroom.
Right.
You know, as a kid to have to deal with that, I could just imagine, you know, the mental strain it put on you, because you felt like an outsider now.
Right.
Versus like when you was, you know, at home,
Right.
and close knit and things
Right.
like that. So with that being said, like, what does mental health like mean to you, like, you know, and stuff like that?
I mean, I was thinking about this conversation, and in saying that was my experience. But you know, in as far as I know, I think a lot of people, even you know, going from Oakland to Atlanta is a culture shock. You know what I'm saying? There's some people, there's some areas in town, in some places, to where, you know, you move 3 blocks down and these people over here behave like this, but these people on this side of town don't behave that way. And now you feel like the outs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we can put ourselves, or get put into situations where we feel like an outsider. It's kind of like you got to find a group or find somebody to get along with. For me, when he was thinking about what mental health means to me, and I was thinking about that, like, I never really was concerned about mental health, you know what I'm saying? Because I think as a man, it's just kind of like building and just carrying it. And, you know, like, as long as job is okay, home is okay, I'm taking care of my kids, I'm doing this, I'm I'm whatever, as long as I'm kind of got somewhat of a handle on it, even though it's not always perfect, then I'm good. You know what I'm saying? As long as they're good, I'm good. And I don't feel like I focused on my mental health until my spirit was broken. So that's not a thing for a lot of black men. Like, before you even get to thinking about mental health, it takes your spirit to be broken before you can even think about getting your mind right.
When did you realize your spirit was broken? Like, what circumstances were you going through?
It was kind of like I said, the things for me, you know, being in the military, just do my job. I could excel. I could, you know, it was easy. You know what I'm saying? I know the rules. You know, I think I saw a thing from somebody posted the other day that Jesse Jackson did an interview, and he said, you know, it's like we excel in sports. You know what I'm saying? Anytime, you know, the court is only so many feet long, the field is only so many yards, the goal is so many high. So anytime that the rules are set out and you can lay it down there, you know, we're gonna excel. But in my family and home life and everything else, even if work could be going bad, but as long as I could come home and have peace in my home, kids all right, then I could deal with the battles out there. It was when I felt like I didn't have control over home anymore, and it was just going haywire, that I just felt totally depleted, and that kind of broke my spirit.
Okay. So between society, economics, and personal relationship, which one had the biggest impact on your mental health?
Personal relationships.
Personal relationships.
Mm-hmm.
What was the cause?
Really, the cause, looking back on it now, the cause was doing that, not taking the time to navigate and think about my own mental health. You know what I'm saying? Like, in coming up, just personally, you know what I'm saying? Or look at, you know, a lot of times it was kind of like, especially coming up, you know, it's kind of like, look at that. You get into a relationship. In my eyes, I'm trying to do everything right according to how I feel like a relationship is supposed to go and everything, but it still ends up going haywire or falling apart, you know? So, and then when it did that, it was just, well, she's crazy, or she did this, or she did that, or she, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, going against whatever it was. I mean, and at that point in time, it made sense to think like that, because, you know, I'm like, I did what you wanted me to do, blah, blah, blah. But then I had to peel those layers back and just kind of like, okay, well, what did I do? What was my action? Why did I behave like this? Why was this my action? Why was that my reaction? You know, and carrying, and in that point in time, like going from relationship to relationship, or even not taking time out to heal, not taking the time out for myself, not taking time to reflect and just be at peace, you know. And I think also being in the military afforded, or it didn't even require or allow me to do that, because I'll be in one place 2 years, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, this gonna go how it go. I mean, I'm leaving, not being cold-hearted, not putting it in the forefront of my mind like that, but it was, you know, looking back in retrospect, that's just how it was, you know. I'm not gonna be here that long. So I'm just gonna pick up what happened in that place, I'm somewhere new now, just start fresh. Rip the page out, start fresh. You know, I'm in a new place, so it's kind of like clean slate and start over, not realizing that, you know, you still carrying these things, or like, why do these recurring things, or I'm not doing that to you, so why you complaining about that? It didn't make sense to me.
I feel you on that one. I heard that you was in the military for 20 years, right? And in the military, I know that they break down like who you are as a civilian, and then re-implement new, like a new person within inside yourself, the person that they need you to be in order to do the duties that you need to do.
Right.
But then in relearning yourself, you know, remaking yourself, but then they'll take that same soldier and then put them back into society.
Right.
Like I know that since you're not the civilian no more and you're a soldier, and then having to go back into society, how did that play a part in your mental health? It's,
you know, and I mean, you don't realize it, because at the time, you know, when you say like, they'll break you down and build you back up. But I feel like when I was going through it, when I went through that, it was still, you know, up on me, or what was already in me to, you know, to even to have them allow something for them to build off of, you know, because, you know, regardless of what it is, everybody's not, you know, you got some people who can go work and, hey, clock work and do it, and this is what I'm doing or whatever. But then, you know, somebody else get hired and they act like, you know, they can't conform to it. Same thing. But some of the values and disciplines and everything that they kind of have you go by, or now follow these rules or these set of standards, you know, is not as flexible. You find the flexibility, but in the civilian world, it's just, you know, it's not like that. You know, it doesn't exist. So coming from being military and active duty to back to the civilian world and still trying to, you know, or just do what you feel like is normal, it was another kind of culture shock or kind of whatever thing. Because I mean, even though I say I was in the military for 20 years and I did this, but I don't say it as a flex or like something I did that was so great or so accomplished or something like look at me, I did this. You know, it's just something that I did, you know, to explain, hey, this is something I did. And this is what I learned over here, and it could make sense if we apply some of that stuff over here, and some of the stuff that I learned over here could probably be applied over there. But I feel like a lot of times, I mean, honestly, it's like people, you'll say, oh, thank you for your service, and blah, 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 and this and that, or whatever. And that's all well and good, but I mean, like, most of the time when people say that, I'm like, you know, like, don't even say that to me, you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying? It's something that I did. There's people who gave greater sacrifices, people who, you know, lost their lives and whatever. I'm still standing here, I appreciate it, but, you know, thank me by helping the next man. Thank me that service was, you know what I'm saying? Like, help people, build community, do this type of stuff. That's what I really feel like a lot of times, you know, that the whole thing is for, getting to travel the world and see all different types of people and meet different cultures, and how other cultures viewed us, viewed me and whatever as certain Americans, and I'm serving beside soldiers and people who kind of are already like mad at or taking it in the wrong way. I'm like, well, we here, for whatever, but these people haven't really done anything to us personally. They ain't done nothing to me personally, So it's like coming out of that, and then trying to get jobs, and people are intimidated, or they're putting something on to me that doesn't even really belong to me. You know what I'm saying? Or a point of view on me that I don't even adjust to, and it's frustrating. Like, don't thank me for my service on one hand, and then I need a job and you pushing me out on the other hand. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're a vet.
Right. Or you scared to hire me, or you intimidated, or whatever reason, like
double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Got you. So can you tell me about some of your like experiences, like dealing with that, and like how that affected your psyche, your mental health? You feel me? Like going to war to fight for a country, and then coming back home to not even be able to get a job because you simply are a soldier. Like, that right there, alone, just saying it out loud,
right?
It's like, damn, I gave my life for y'all.
Right.
And then to come back here and to sustain life, y'all won't even give me an opportunity.
Right.
Like, yeah, I can, just for me just saying that and not even being a part of it, or experiencing that, I know that could be very heavy. Right. To deal with. And then it'd be years that will go by before you probably get some assistance as well. Right. So can you tell me some of your experiences?
I mean, it's I like to do stuff, you know what I'm saying? So when I really think about some of the, if I took my accomplishments and things that I've done in the military, like from going to, when I was even when I was in, I was always, I'm not just going to do this. I want to do some extra stuff. When 9/11 happened, I was at Barksdale Air Force Base. I think Bush flew from Florida to Barksdale, to my base. We're seeing on the news, we're seeing the towers falling, whatever. He's flying to our base, Secret Service getting set up and everything in. They pulled me off my post and said, hey, Newton, you gonna go sit in the tower with the Secret Service. And I'm like, what? Or just, all my peers like, sitting out here like, all right, y'all, I see I'll go to the Secret Service. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, I'm just, hey, okay. And this is national news. My people are watching this on TV. Everybody's watching Air Force One land and doing whatever. And I'm like, I'm behind the scenes, which correlates to a lot of things that I'm doing with the background. I'm behind the scenes. I'm not on camera. I'm not flashy, but I'm here. I know I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm being pulled. I'm looking at the Secret Service scopes and weapons and whatever. I've been shooting rifles and stuff since I was, my granddad gave me a pellet gun when I was 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm ping, ping. Now I'm like, oh, that dude, his head this little, but now I see I see the pimples on his face through this. You know what I'm saying? And not saying, but I'm just kind of, and to be in situations like that, and then to go to Crunch Fitness and say, like, can I just want to scan IDs at the front desk. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to, well, tell me about one of your most stressful situations and how you handle it. Okay, do I play it down and just, you know what I'm saying, say something simple? Or do I just tell the truth? You know what I'm saying? Or my resume is all of this, but now I want to do, I'm not going, just because I did these things doesn't mean I'm going to be in here yelling at people and getting mad and doing that type of stuff. I just want to be chill. So it's just kind of like that. I'm not trying to use this as a flex or my resume as something, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I could go, if I wanted a $90,000 job at Northrop or one of these high security places and doing whatever, I'm sure I was still running into obstacles there because it's still who you know and who you don't. But I just want a simple little something to do. And y'all, it's frustrating. I'm like, you mean to tell me you're not gonna let me? Bruh, I did all of this. You think I can't do this? You know what I'm saying? And so that's going on in my head. You know, that's when, you know, they call a PT. No, I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? You're pissing me off, you know, because for what reason? You're hiring, I'm qualified, regardless of whatever, I'm qualified to do this job. You cannot give me a little legitimate reason that I cannot do, that I should not get this job. You can't. Yeah,
like, don't insult my intelligence.
Right.
And that's what I feel like they do to veterans.
Right.
You know, like, they insult their intelligence, like I didn't put my life on the line for this country, or nor did my qualifications don't meet y'all qualifications, you know, but I'm qualified to give my life, but I'm not qualified to sustain my life.
Right.
You know, like that right there, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It really is, you know, or for a person to sit across from you and to degrade your services to the country and to yourself.
Right.
You know, and then it won't give you an opportunity as something simple as scanning badges.
Right.
Or restocking the refrigerator.
Right.
You know, and things like that.
Right.
You know, so yeah, man, my heart goes out.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? And things like that. Is there any advice you would give to young black men and black men in your situation about mental health?
Really, honestly, I mean, I advise, if I could go back and tell myself, you know, like what to do, just really, you know, take that time to, you know, push all the superficial, trying to be cool, worrying about how much money you make and all of that stuff, you know, like, don't hyper focus on it. Don't just let that be that's not what's going to sustain you. You know what I'm saying? Because even staying in some of these jobs that I felt like I wanted, and you know what I'm saying, and whatever that I wanted to get, when I came to Atlanta, I was second in charge of security in the biggest property downtown, Peachtree Center. You know, and at that point in time, that was just kind of like, okay, I'm moving to Atlanta. This is a new job, making good money in a good position. I can do this. I thought I wanted that, you know what I'm saying? Because it would have just been a great opportunity. But at the same time, at this point, I'm glad that I didn't get it, you know, because I see where I've been allowed to, you know, come out, enjoy nature, take some time out for myself, build that, you know, come from that kind of building up all the things that I've done up until this point in life that I've been carrying and sustaining and trying to hold on to, all of that can be taken away just like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you say like come to mental health, like I have 3 daughters. My 2 daughters graduated in May of 23, I think it was. And at that point in time, you know, we had some differences, like just everything that I thought I've been doing as a dad to try to hold on and be there for these girls. They kind of just, I had to realize they're adults and they're going to make their own decisions. So, you know, they kind of went their own ways and did whatever. So I didn't have my daughters to take care to distract me and to, like, you know, I got to, you know, even if they're not there, I'm still being daddy and making sure, oh, let me get a 2-bedroom in case one of them comes stay here. Let me this, you know, to maintain and support them, you know, and I don't have to pay child support anymore. So, I mean, I don't have to make sure the pockets is, you know, a little bit, you need something, I got you, but it ain't boom, 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 boom every month. You know what I'm saying? It ain't hitting me like that no more. Work is gone, we're single again. So all of that stuff that I cared about that just kept me distracted from thinking about myself or thinking about my own mental health was all gone. So young men, any young man at this point in time, focus, just do that. Don't be afraid to be somewhat selfish. Don't be afraid to establish that boundaries and understand and know what you want for yourself. you know, because I think there's a lot of stuff in social media and everything out going out here. You know what I'm saying? They got the whole, you know, pop the balloon. Oh, pop the balloon because his pants too short, or pop the balloon because this, and that, and just all this stuff that's distracting people and causing people to like focus on the wrong thing.
Right.
Inside this, okay, all right. It's just me. If you don't like me, then you're not for me. You know?
At the end of the day, all we can be is ourselves.
Exactly.
And then I feel like the world has forced us to be outside of ourselves so much that when we do try to come back in, it's so unfamiliar that we don't know who we are.
Right.
And sometimes you have to be selfish and figure out who you are again.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely. I appreciate that, man. I
Yeah, for
appreciate the
sure.
conversation.
For sure,
You know,
always.
Greatly appreciate it. My name is Mac West, and I got,
Said.
you feel me? And so with that being said, don't
being
forget
said.
to follow him, like and subscribe to the channel and everything like that. I am Mr. Fly-M himself, Mac West. You feel me? Follow me on all social media platforms at MacWest_FIA. You dig? And don't forget to follow my man Said. With that being said, on all social platforms as well. Subscribe, like, and share. Hit the button.
Do that.
Hit the
Do
button.
that.
You feel what I'm saying? With that, we out.